Shalom, shalom. It's Brother Davion, the best OJ, and we back with another video. It's good to be back making videos for Yashrael because we know it's been a minute. And but yeah, and also this video is gonna be over the futility of idols and also false prophets, how they try to lead Yasharal away from Yahweh and the Torah, and how you're not they talk sweet things in your ear, basically like these pastors out here, and just people just that preach folly, that don't have no substance, that don't feed the soul, which is not, they're not teaching from the Tarawa. So basically, yeah, that's what the video gonna be over. And first of all, I want to say Shabbat Shalom and praise Yahweh Allah Lawaya for allowing us to get together and make another video. And I'm passing it off to the next brother.
Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. This is Brother Z, back at you again with another video. It's SOJ. First of all, I want to say Hallelujah. Praise Yahweh, Yahweh God, for allowing us to be here to try to make another video and to produce it here for you brothers and sisters. We just want to get out a topic that we recently been really contemplating on, and that's the whole false idols and prophets things, because really right now especially there's a lot of false prophets and a lot of just false things out there in life that's trying to sway a lot of Yasharal from what they're supposed to be doing in their true destiny. So we want to pretty much enlighten the people a little bit on pretty much what's going down, what our people have been doing and stuff like that. So shout out to TK, shout out to all the brothers over there making videos and trying to produce for the brothers and sisters. Go check out Brother Judah's channel, go check out Brother Vanya's channel, go check out Brother Tham's channel. Brother Marshall Rayaha, go check out their channels. They still produce videos. It's a brother named OTT. His videos are great. Go check his videos out. So shalom, this brother Z, and I'm gonna hand it off to the next brother.
All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother X. Just want to say shalom from me and SOJ, and we're just coming back today with another video. Just happy to be here. Happy to be able to get into these scriptures, and I just want to say thank you to all of Yashua who will be tuning in. May you guys listen, hearken, and maybe gain some knowledge with some understanding, just like we seek as well. And hope you guys are doing well. You know what I'm saying? We haven't made a video in a while. Salak for our slow-footedness, but we're going to get back at it. So with that said, I want to say shalom. Salak. Hallelujah. Thank you, Yahweh, for another glorious day. And, what I'm saying, may he increase all of us, and as well as you guys. Slap.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's Brother Bees. I'm new to the channel. I just want to thank the brothers for having me on. I really want to talk about this topic because my family and just my brothers and sisters today, they're really on this bullcrap. So it'll be good to address this, get it out in the open so people can contemplate on it and realize what they're doing is some complete folly. So I'm glad to be on this channel. I just want to start this off by saying all praises to the Most High. May He be in our midst while we're doing this.
That's going to pretty much highlight the topic of the video, which is going to be destroying the false prophets, the idols, and kind of explaining how our people keep getting sucked back into it and where we go wrong and how we can change. So I'm going to bring out, this verse is going to be out of Deuteronomy. It's going to be chapter 6, and it's going to be verse 13 through 15. And it starts by saying, Yahweh your God shall you fear, him shall you serve, and his name shall you swear. You shall not follow after the gods of others, of the gods of the peoples that are around you, for a jealous God is Elohim Yahweh, your God among you. Lest the wrath of Yahweh, your God, will flare against you, and he destroy you from upon the face of the earth. So, what I'm saying? That goes along to show you that we should fear Yahweh, and we should put our trust in our whole drive should be towards serving Yahweh, because everything else is for naught. And we need not to serve the idols that are around us, because those people, Yahweh brought us into the land and took them out because of the actions of those nations. So that's why it tells you why you shouldn't serve the gods of the peoples around you, or you can't take practices. You can't use the same things that they were using It's just a lot of regurgitated information and the falsities and the follies of what they believed in and what they worshiped and how they were living their lives. It wasn't good. So that's why nations get removed out of land, because they commit abominations. You know what I'm saying? They go against the laws of Elohim, and He answers them. You know what I'm saying? He repairs them according to their deeds. So that's how that happens. With that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to the next brother.
Shalom, shalom. It's Brother Davion again, and coming at you with my first point. This is Exodus 20. I'm gonna start at verse 19. Yahweh said to Moses, "So shall you say to the children of Yasharal, you have seen that I have spoken to you from heaven. You shall not make images of what is with me, gods of silver and gods of gold shall you not make for yourselves." Right? Because that's human handiwork. Right? Now, I'm going to continue on to, if you go up on Exodus 20, I'll start at verse 3. You shall not recognize the gods of others in my presence. You shall not make yourself a carved image, nor any likeness of that which is in the heavens above or on the earth below, or in the water beneath the earth. You shall not prostrate yourself to them, nor worship them. For I am Yahweh your God, a jealous God, who visits the sin of the fathers upon children, to the third and fourth generations, for my enemies, but who shows kindness for thousands of generations, to those who love me and observe my commandments. Right? Or the testimonial tablets, which is, in the Ark of the Covenant, which also a representation of the mind, where Yahweh meets you. Right? Now, if you continue on to, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 4, verse 12. Yahweh spoke to you from the midst of the fire. You were hearing the sound of words, but you were not seeing a likeness. Right? No likeness, no image. Only a sound. He told you of his covenant that he commanded you to observe, the 10 declarations, or the testimonial tablets, or the 10 commandments. And he inscribed them on 2 stone tablets, which is in the Ark of the Covenant. Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you, Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you decrees and ordinances, that you shall perform them in the land to which you cross, the land of Yasharal, to possess it. But you shall greatly beware for your souls, for you did not see any likeness on the day Yahweh spoke to you at Horeb from the midst of the fire, lest you act corruptly and make for yourselves a carved image, a likeness of any shape, a form of a male or a female, a form of any animal that is on the earth, a form of any winged bird that flies in the heaven, a form of anything that creeps on the ground, a form of any fish that is in the water, a form of any fish that is in the water under the earth, unless you raise your eyes to the heavens and you see the sun and the moon and the stars, the entire legion of heaven, and you be drawn astray and bow to them and worship them, which Yahweh your God has apportioned to all the peoples under the entire heaven. But Yahweh has taken you and withdrawn you from the iron crucible, from Egypt, to be a nation of heritage for him at this very day, right? To come to the land of Yasharal, out of Egypt, the iron crucible, or the low mind, or, baseness, right? Now, we're not supposed to make carved images of anything that is, with Yahweh, or gods of silver, or gods of gold, or any carved image that has the likeness of anything, because Yahweh came to us at Horeb with no likeness, which means no image, only sound, right? Now, why are we not supposed to make carved images? Because Yahweh created all things. So we're supposed to give Yahweh, our creator, all praises, right? Not, objects or, because Yahweh created everything, So I'm going to start in Jeremiah 10, verse 11, right? Tell them this: the gods who did not make the heavens and the earth shall vanish from the earth and from under these heavens. But Yahweh made the earth with his might. He established the world with his wisdom, and with his understanding spread out the heavens. At the sound of his placement of a multitude of waters in the heavens, he raised clouds from the end of the earth. He makes lightning bolts for the rain, and brings forth the wind from his treasuries. Every man is bereft of wisdom. Every smith is shamed by his graven image. For his molten idol is false, and there is no life in them, right? Because they're carved images, which has a likeness. Yahweh doesn't have a likeness, right? When Yahweh came to Moses, said, "I shall be as I shall be," right? But the word, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get back to it. Verse 15. They are vanity, the work of deception. When they are dealt with, they shall perish. Unlike these is the portion of Yaqub, for he is the molder of everything, and Yashara'el is the tribe that is his heritage. His name is Yahweh, master of legions, or Zabewath, right? And, that's why we're not supposed to make carved images, because Yahweh, created all things, and Yahweh's glory shall not be given, and will not be given to another, right? So with that, I'm going to pass it off to the next brother.
All right, shalom, back at it again. So I'm going to bringing out my first verse today. And the verse is going to be in Psalms 96, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and it's going to start by saying, "Sing to Yahweh a new song. Sing to Yahweh, everyone on earth. Sing to Yahweh, bless his name. Announce his salvation daily. Relate his glory among the nations, among all peoples, his wonders. That Yahweh is great and exceedingly lauded. Awesome is he above all heavenly powers." Verse 5, what I really want to hit on. "For all the gods of the peoples are nothings, but Yahweh made heaven." See? Yahweh is the Elohim, the only true living God. You know what I'm saying? It just tells you right here, for all the gods of the peoples that are the nations that surround us, the nations, that cover the Arats, the earth, you know what I'm saying, are nothings, which means man's knowledge or what he deems to be a God is opposite to what God actually is. You know what I'm saying? They don't actually worship God. They worship things that don't have, life in it. Like my brother was just saying, they worship basically inanimate objects. You know what I'm saying? They have life, but they pray to something that doesn't have life in it. So you know what I'm saying? It's like it's inept. It's like praying to a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? There's no what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like, but there's none. It's just one way. You know what I'm saying? So they're stupid, basically. So that's basically what it's saying. They are nothings. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh made everything. Can't they not tell? Can they not perceive? Can they not discern? They can't. They can't do these things. You know what I'm saying? At least righteously, because any person who has faith and knowledge will know that there is a higher creator. You know what I'm saying? And it's obviously not what the majority is worshiping, because they make a monetary thing off of it. See, what they basically did is they took our way of life, you know what I'm saying, and put a monetary use to it and created religion. You know what I'm saying? That's all religion is. It's a bite, off of the Tarawa, in some way, and they put money on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's them pimping again. They pimping us. They pimping everybody, and it's terrible. So it's time for us to get away from that. It's time for us to come back to the only, the true source of waters, the Tarawa. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I'm gonna stop. Selah.
Shalom, y'all. Brother B is back with another verse, my first verse. Okay, I would like to add on to what Brother X said about them false prophets, them pimps. All right, I'm gonna start with Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1. "The entire word that I command you, that shall you observe to do. You shall not add to it, and you shall not subtract from it. If there shall stand up in your midst a prophet or a dreamer of a dream," that dude you go to on Sunday to give tithes to, that dude, that dreamer, okay? "And he will produce to you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes about, of which he spoke to you, saying, Let us follow gods of others that you did not know, and we shall worship them. Do not hearken to the words of that prophet, or to that dreamer of a dream, for Yahweh your God is testing you." He's testing you to know whether you love Yahweh your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Okay? You see what that says there? That's Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1. And that's going to, I'm at verse 4 right now. Alright? So I'm going to continue. I'm going to start at verse 5. "Yahweh your God, shall you follow him, and shall you fear? His commandments shall you observe, and to his voice shall you hearken. Him shall you serve, and to him shall you cleave. And that prophet and that dreamer of a dream shall be put to death. For he has spoken perversion against Yahweh your God, who takes you out of the land of Egypt, and who redeems you from the house of slavery, to make you stray from the path of which Yahweh your God has commanded you to go, and you shall destroy the evil from your midst. It says it clear right there. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to chill out, bro. You need to chill. It's a test to see. And you guys are clearly failing it. Clearly failing it. Those idols, all of that, Jeebus, all of that, that's no. It's no good. Alright? So with that I yield. And I'm gonna pass it to the next brother. Salah.
Alright, it's Brother Z, and I'm gonna give off my first verse here. And it's gonna be in Jeremiah chapter 1. But pretty much to add to what the other brothers are saying, it's like the other brothers have read to you how the Most High tells us we are not to be dealing with false idols. Neither are we supposed to be dealing with the idols of the nations around us, those people around us. We've always been different from the people around us. We've always been treated differently. But for some reason, we've always gravitated towards their beliefs and their stuff. So it's very important that we cleave to Yahweh and our heritage. And we're going to show you what the heritage of Jacob is later. And I'm going to start here in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 16. And it says, I shall pronounce my judgments against Judah for all their evil, for they have forsaken me and burned incense to the gods of others and prostrated themselves to their own handiwork. So this is what our people ended up doing. Our people ended up forsaking the Creator and turning back to the idols of others. And my other brothers have read to you clearly the Most High tells us we're not supposed to do that. My brother Jordan just read the verse that shows that it's a test. It's a test. You know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of brothers and sisters failing. We're born into this, and it'd be more elaborated on later, but through other verses. But what I'm saying is our people fell into idolatry, and I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna actually go to a different verse. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 4, and it says, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 4. It says, hear the word of Yahweh, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus says Yahweh, what wrong did your forefathers find in me that they distanced themselves from me and pursued futility and became futile? But they did not say, where is Yahweh who brought us up from the land of Egypt, who led us in the wilderness, in a land of desert and pit, in a land of waste and the shadow of death, in the land through which no man passes and where no person settles? I brought you into a fruitful land to eat its fruit and bounty, but you came and contaminated my land and made my heritage into an abomination. The Kohanim did not say, where is Yahweh? Those charged with teaching the Torah did not know me. The shepherds rebelled against me. The prophets prophesied by the Baal, and they went after those that cannot avail. Verse 9. Therefore, I will yet contend with you the word of Yahweh, and I will and with your children I will contend. Traverse the isles of Kittitz and observe. Send forth unto Cedar and consider deeply, and see whether there has ever been such a thing. Has a nation ever exchanged its gods, though they are not genuine gods? Yet my people have exchanged its glory for something of no avail. Be astounded, O heavens, over this. Rage forth in storm. Be greatly devastated, the word of Yahweh. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the source of living waters, to dig themselves cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold the water. So the Most High says it plainly. He explains it better than any of us can. We're reading the scripture. So that's what the deal is. Our people have exchanged our glory, our hereditary blessing for futility, and we became futile.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be my first verse, and I'm gonna give it off to the next brother.
Shalom. All the brothers bringing out some great points, and I'm gonna come out with my second point. This is Jeremiah 17. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Thus said Yahweh, accursed is the man who trusts in people and makes flesh and blood his strength and turns his heart away from Yahweh. He will be like a lone tree in the desert and will not see when goodness comes. It dwells in parched lands, in the wilderness, in a salty, uninhabited land. Right? So, right, flesh and blood. When you put your faith in anything else that's not Yahweh, right? Like all the, you seek, like we used to seek Assyria for help, and Egypt for help, Egypt for help, which we relied upon man. We didn't look to Yahweh in our times of distress, but we, we sought out, man, right? Now, that's a sin, right? That's idolatry, right? It's idolatry. It's all the same thing, right? So if you go to Psalms, give me 1 second. If you go to Psalms 146, one of my favorite scriptures, because it lays it out for you, right? We shall not, I'm just gonna read it. 146, verse 1. Halala waya, praise Yahweh, O my soul. I will praise Yahweh while I live. I will make music to my God while I exist. Do not rely on nobles, nor on a human being, for he holds no salvation. When his spirit departs, he returns to his earth. On that day, his plans all perish. Praiseworthy is the one who helps his Jacob's God, whose hope is in Yahweh, his God, right? He is the maker of heaven and the earth, the sea and all that is in them. He safeguards truth forever. He does justice for the exploited. He gives bread to the hungry. Yahweh releases the bound. Yahweh gives sight to the blind. Yahweh strengthens the bent. Yahweh loves the righteous. Yahweh protects strangers, orphan and widow. He encourages. But the way of the wicked he contorts. Yahweh shall reign forever. Your God, O Zion, from generation to generation. Halalawaya, right? So, you're always supposed to look to Yahweh, not rely upon man, because, man is flesh. It's like low degree. You don't want, you want to elevate, because when you start, seeking man, it's just carnality and, just vanity, or just, seeking like earthly things. You want to, be better than the man of low degree, right? Which is when you turn to Yahweh and offer confession and repentance to Yahweh, right? And you elevate, right? Now, I'm also wanted to go to, Isaiah 44, right? Can a man make gods for himself, right? Verse 44, right? Isaiah 44, I'm going to start at verse 6. Thus said Yahweh, King of Yasharal, and its Redeemer, Yahweh, Master of Legions, or Zabewath. I am the first, and I am the last. Aside from me, there is no God. Whoever will declare that he is like me, let him proclaim it, and set forth all the events, since I am placed the people of antiquity, and let them all tell us coming events, and what is yet to happen. Be not afraid, and be not terrified. Did I not make you hear of yore, and tell you? And you are my witnesses. Is there a God aside from me? There is no rock I do not know. Right? And also, I'm going to continue to verse 9. All who fashion statues are empty, and the objects of their adoration will not avail. They bear witness on themselves, for they see not, and they know not, so that they should be ashamed. Right? So they have, they're deluded. So they have no idea what they're doing is foolishness, right? Because they take pride in their handiwork, right? Or the idols of wood and stone, or carved images, which is human handiwork, right? I'm going to continue. Verse 10. Who fashioned a god or a molten idol? It is to no avail. Behold, all who join it will be shamed, and the artisans, they are but human. Let them all gather together and stand. Let them be frightened and ashamed together. The ironsmith makes an adze, right? An adze is used to as a woodcutter or to chop wood. He works with charcoal and fashioned it with hammers. He works on it with his strong arm, though he is hungry and without strength. Though he drinks no water and grows faint. The woodworker stretches a line and marks the wood with chalk. He works on it with planes and marks it with a compass. He makes it like a man's form, like human splendor, right? To stay inside a house, cutting cedars for it. He takes laurel and oak and reinforces it with trees of the forest. He plants a fir tree and the rain makes it grow. It will be fuel for man. He will take from it and warm himself, or even kindle a fire and bake bread. Yet he also makes a god and prostrates himself. He makes it a graven idol and bows to them. Salah. He burns half of it in the fire, or with half he prepares meat to eat, roasting it and saddening himself, or he warms himself and says, "Ah, I have warmed myself. I see the flame." Right? So, he's saying you have taken this wood, right, and you have made yourself a god, but you have also used it to warm yourself. You have also used it, to cook meat, right? You have also, you spend all day, you put blood, sweat, and tears into making this graven idol, and it is to no avail, right? It won't bring you any salvation, right? But also, he's saying that they don't understand what they have just done. They're prostrating themselves to something, an inanimate object, something they use to warm themselves, as well as something to cook their meat, right? They have no idea that they're doing, because they do not know, right? Or they don't perceive. Now I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue on to verse 17. Then the rest of it he makes into a god and his graven image. He will bow to it and prostrate himself and pray to it and say, "Rescue me, for you are my God." They do not know, and they do not understand or discern or distinguish, for their eyes are smeared, preventing from seeing, and their hearts from comprehending. He does not take it to his heart. He has neither wisdom nor insight to say, "I have burned half of it in the fire, and I have baked bread on its coals. I have roasted meat and eaten it. Shall I make the remainder into an abomination? Shall I bow to a stock of a tree? The shepherd is but ash, a foolish heart deceived him, and he does not save his soul, and he does not say, is there not falsehood in my right hand?" Because he does not know and he does not understand, which means he does not perceive of his wrongdoing, right? Because he's making graven images, he's not putting his faith in Yahweh, right? So he's following his own heart's desires, as it says. Salah, let me find the verse. It says, "The shepherd is but ash, a foolish heart deceived him." Right? Now, we can back that up with Jeremiah 17. Right? Again, this is the first verse I started off with, right? Start off at verse 5. Jeremiah 17, verse 5. "Thus said Yahweh, accursed is the man who trusts in people, and makes flesh and blood his strength, and turns his heart away from Yahweh. He will be like a lone tree in the desert, and will not see when goodness comes. It dwells in parched lands in the wilderness, and a salty uninhabited land." Right? Verse 7. "Blessed is the man who trusts in Yahweh. Then Yahweh will be his security. He will be like a tree planted near water, which spreads out its roots along a brook, and does not see when heat comes, whose foliage is ever fresh. It will not worry in a year of drought, and will not stop producing fruit." Right? The heart is the most deceitful of all, and it is fragile. The heart, or the mind, or lab, or labab. Who can know it? I, Yahweh, will plumb the feelings and test the innermost thoughts, to give to man according to his ways the fruits of his deeds. Right? And as my brother was saying, when that false prophet, Brother Jordan, when that false prophet entices you, it is a test to show, if you love Yahweh, your God, with all your heart and all your soul. So, with that, Salah, I yield. Pass it off to the next brother.
Shalom, shalom. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing out Isaiah 41. And if you will kindly go down to verse 21, and I'm going to start there. And with this, we're going to be putting all these idols, the whole compository concept of a graven idol, any type of image that the brother read earlier, that is in the likeness of the heavens above, or the earth, or in the seas and the depths below. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put them all together, and we're going to put them on trial. So Isaiah 41, and it's verse 21, and it says, Bring your quarrel forward, says Yahweh. Present your accusations, says the king of Yaqub. Let them bring forth their prophets, and let them tell us what will happen. What primeval events signified? Tell it, that we may take it to heart and know their end, or inform us about the future. Tell us the signs that will come in later times, and then we will know that you are gods, and that you can do good or evil. Together we will discuss and decide. But behold, you are made from you are made from nothing, and your deeds are not. Only an abomination would one only an abominable one would choose you. I have inspired someone from the north, and he has come. He calls out in my name from where the sun rises. He will come upon rulers as one treads on mortar, as a potter trampling clay. 26. 26 is what I really want to hit on. It says, who of the pagans, that's the nations, because they believe in paganism, that's what they keep. Who of the pagans has told anything in advance that we may know, from beforehand, that we may say he was right? There is no one who tells, nor anyone who informs, nor is there anyone who hears your words. You know what I'm saying? Because they dumb dogs who can't bark. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to continue to read. It says, the first ones to come to Zion will announce, behold, they are here, and I will send a herald for Jerusalem, and I see that there is no man, and that among them there is no counselor whom I may ask, and whom can respond with a word. Behold, all of them, their deeds are worthless and not. Their molten images are but wind and nothingness. See, that's once again, Yahweh's telling you. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to the nations right now. He's saying, what prophets or any people that you brought, your wise men, any of those guys who has been able to tell beforehand what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Well, Elohim doesn't already know. You know what I'm saying? To let them proclaim it. You know what I'm saying? If they who they really are, if they're really gods, you know what I'm saying, that can do good or evil, let them proclaim the events that are to come or in the future. You know what I'm saying? But it says they cannot. They cannot. And that disqualifies. This is Yahweh, you know what I'm saying, speaking to the nations. Right here. This is Isaiah 41. You know what I'm saying? So slide. I'm gonna bring out another verse too. It's gonna tie in with that. All right, shalom. This gonna sorry about that, guys. But this is gonna be coming from Numbers 25. It's gonna be within the topic of the idols. You know what I'm saying? Explaining, giving more insight on, you know what I'm saying, Elohim's word against idols and false prophets. So Numbers 25, verse 1, and it's gonna be verse 1 through 1 through 4. So it says, Yasharah settled in the Shittim, and people began to commit harlotry with the daughters of Moab. They invited the people to the feast of their gods, and people ate and prostrated themselves to their gods. Yasharah became attached to Baal Peor, and the wrath of Yahweh flared against Yasharah. You know what I'm saying? So this right here, I'm reading, is going to be an example on us as a nation getting attached to an idol, how it's perceived to be dealt with, you know what I'm saying, and how we carry on. So with that, go down to verse 4. It says, Yahweh said to Moshe, take all the leaders of the people, hang them before Yahweh against the sun, and the flaring wrath of Yahweh will withdraw from Yasharah. That's because we had committed abomination by becoming attached to Baal Peor through, intermingling and doing all these type of things with these people. You know what I'm saying? So let me continue to read. It says, Moshe said to the judges of Yasharah, let each man kill his men who were attached to Baal Peor. Behold, a man of the children of Yasharah came and brought a Midianite woman near to his brothers in the sight of Moshe, in the sight of the entire assembly of the children of Yasharah, and they were weeping at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So this is significant because in the midst of the tent, as I guess the community was congregating, there was a brother who brought in a Midianite woman. You know what I'm saying? And I guess he brought her in with intentions to lay with her. You know what I'm saying? So he was going to bring sin upon the whole tribe of Yasharah with this act. So I'm going to continue to read. It says, what's that? Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the Cohen, saw and stood up from amid the assembly and took a spear in his hand. He followed the Israelite man to the tent and pierced them both, the Israelite man and the woman, into her stomach. And the plague was halted from upon the children of Yasharal. Those who died in the plague were 24,000. Slakia, everyone. But those who died in the plague were 24,000. So what happened was, inadvertently, he stopped the wrath of Yahweh from stirring up any more within the camp because of the deed he had done. He saw that wickedness was being carried out, so he took action and he destroyed both of them in the midst of the camp. And right there, that was a good deed. You know what I'm saying? But 24,000 people, once again, they became, what's right, 24,000 Yasharites perished because of maybe the sin of one within the community. So it's like it's real important that we all are on one accord, because one bad move can determine the steps of the people behind it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch out what you're doing. But if you continue to read, I'm gonna go down to let me see. So I'm gonna read 14. Or no, I'm gonna read 11, because there was a blessing because of what Phineas had done, and I think that's very important to bring out, especially according to the whole idols and what we're supposed to do, which is to smash the idols and destroy them rather than them being our midst. It says Yahweh spoke to Moses saying, Phineas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the Cohen, turn back my wrath from upon the children of Yasharal, when he zealously angered my vengeance among them. So I did not consume the children of Yasharal in my vengeance. Therefore say, behold, I give him my covenant of peace, and this shall be for him and his offspring after him, a covenant of eternal priesthood, because he took vengeance for his God, Elohim, and he atoned for the children of Yasharal. So you see what was done right there? He did a good deed by killing the Israelite man that was going into the camp with the Midianite woman, and thus doing that, he became blessed. You know what I'm saying? And his seed after him was blessed with eternal priesthood. You know what I'm saying? That's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. That's amazing. It's bad that it had to come through something that was, didn't have any, real meaning behind it, because that shouldn't have been done in the first place. We shouldn't be doing those type of deeds, but it happened. So he stopped the flaring wrath of Yahweh in the camp, because more people would have died. You know what I'm saying? So with that in itself, it's like we should, it's thankful for that. It's real thankful. But I'm gonna tie that in with something else. Give me 1 second. All right. So the names of I'm gonna read down the name of the slain of the Israelite man who was slain with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Saul, leader of the father's house of the Simeonites. And the name of the slain Midianite woman was Gazabi, daughter of Zawar, who was head of the peoples of a father's house in Midian. You know what I'm saying? And then let me continue to read. This is what Yahweh proclaims against Midian. It says, Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, harass the Midianites and smite them, for they harass you through their conspiracy, that they conspire against you in the matter of Peor. And that's talking about in the matter of them getting us to stray away and enticing us to worship the gods of others. You know what I'm saying? And that's a sin. So that's why he told us to harass and smite them. You know what I'm saying? Let me read continually. It says, and in the matter of Gazabi, daughter of the leader of the Midianite, their sister who was slain on the day of the plague in the matter of Peor. You know what I'm saying? It says, ooh. Okay, and now I'm going to jump down. I'm going to jump to, where is that at? I'll go to 31. This one. All right, so now if you go to Numbers 31, and it's going to tie everything up that happened. So Numbers 31, and I'm going to read I'm going to start off with verse 1 and 2, and it says, Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, take vengeance for the children of Yasharal against the Midianites afterward you will be gathered into your people. Okay, so I'm going to continue. It says, Moses spoke to the people, saying, arm men from among yourself for the legion, that they may be against Midian, to afflict Yahweh's vengeance against Midian. 1,000 from a tribe, 1,000 from a tribe. For all the tribes of Yasharah shall you send to the legion. So there were delivered from the thousands of the So there were delivered from the thousands of Yasharah 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for the legion. Moshe sent them 1,000 from each tribe for the legion, them and Phinehas son of Eleazar the Cohen to the legion, and the sacred vessels and the trumpets for sounding in his hand. They amassed against Midian as Yahweh had commanded Moshe, and they killed every male. They killed the kings of Midian along with their slain ones, Ivi, Rakim, Zawar, Hawar, and Rabah, the 5 kings of Midian, and Baliam, son of Beor, they slew with the sword. The children of Yasharah took captive the women of Midian and their young children, and all their cattle and flocks, and all their wealth they took as spoils. Right? I'm gonna stop right there, and then I'm gonna jump down to verse 15, and it says, Moses said to them, did you let every female live? Behold, it was they who caused the children of Yasharah by the word of Baliam to commit a betrayal against Yahweh regarding the matter of Peor, and the plague occurred in the assembly of Yahweh. So what they're referring to right there is what we just read in chapter 25 with the Midianite woman. You know what I'm saying? She got slain with the Israelite man who was going to commit that deed in the camp. And they were going to bring the whole flaring wrath of Yahweh upon Yasharah because of the deed that they were going to commit. And so, with that being said, she was a woman of Midian. So Moses explained it to them. It was them, who enticed us, who got us into trying to worship their false gods. You know what I'm saying? That's what this whole thing is. This is the example on us actually falling into what Yahweh told us not to do. You know what I'm saying? He said, don't intermingle with these nations in around us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of giving out like the whole example on us, having to deal with us doing what he didn't say and getting punished, and then having to continue to conduct ourselves in a certain way based off of the punishment. So with that, I'm gonna yield and pass off to the next brother.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I just want to add another verse to what I was saying previously. I'm going to start at Isaiah chapter 29. I'm going to start at verse 10. For Yahweh has poured upon you a spirit of deep sleep, and he has closed your eyes, and the eyes of the prophets and your chiefs, the seers he has covered. To you all the true prophecy is like the words of a sealed document. That one gives to a literate person saying, please read this. And he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. Then the document is given to an illiterate person saying, please read this. And he says, I am not literate. Now I'm going to go down to verse 18. And it's talking about the day of judgment. On that day, the deaf will hear the words of a book. And from darkness and blackness, the eyes of blind people will see. The meek will increase their joy in Yahweh. And the poor among the people will rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. For the fierce man is no more, and the scoffer has ceased to be. And all who strive for inequity will be cut off. Those who with a word cause man to sin, and ensnare the one who gives rebuke at the city gate, and mislead the righteous with falsehood. What was I saying earlier? About them priests, about your pimp. Alright? Now I'm going to go down to verse 22, and I'm going to end it at verse 24. And this will conclude my point. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, who redeemed Abraham to the house of Jacob. Jacob will not be ashamed now, and his face will not pale now. When he sees his children, my handiwork in their midst, who will sanctify my name, they will sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and revere the God of Israel. Those of misguided spirit will attain understanding, and complainers will learn God's instruction. Okay? So, even though you're doing all this folly, even though you still going to church, you still got time to come back to the Most High and the Torah. All right? So keep that in mind and contemplate on that. With that, I yield, and I'm going to pass it to the next brother.
Okay, Brother Z again back here with another point. And I wanted to continue at Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 26, to pretty much recontinue what the whole false prophets thing and what our people have been doing, what we are doing, this currently getting us in situations that we are in. And pretty much I'm going to cover pretty much just like, some of those false prophets and false idols. So I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 26. And it says, like the shame of a thief who is discovered, so has the house of Israel been shamed. They, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets. They say, to the wood, you are my father, and to the stone, you have borne us. To me they turn their backs and not their faces. But in their time of distress, they will say, arise and save us. Now, where are your gods that you have made for yourself? Let them arise, if they can save you in the time of your distress, for as the number of your cities were your gods, O Judah. So that just shows you into like the depth of like just how crazy are people going with it, worship and everything. It's not just like people thinking that it's only like Jiba, so it's only like specifically a religion, and that's not the truth. You can be worshiping sports. You can be worshiping just other ways of life. You can be like, putting your all and giving your heart into something like that isn't supposed to. Your heart belongs to the Creator. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be your drive for reason in life. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't give yourself life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go over to Malachi. Sorry, Malachi chapter 3, verse 5. Like always, I'm going to put this, we're going to have to let you know, coming out the Stones edition, you know what I'm saying, with the Aramaic, that allow us to read the language. So, we don't mess with no books. we do the Torah and the prophets, you know what I'm saying? The language, we're not reading no KJV, you know what I'm saying? No. We're coming out the Torah. It's closest to it we can get. Originally our people wrote in scrolls, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go Malachi chapter 3, verse 5. And it says, I will draw near to you for judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, against the adulterers, and against those who swear falsely, and against those who extort the wage of the worker, the widow and the orphan, and against those who wrong the stranger and do not fear me, says Yahweh, Master of Legions. For I am Yahweh, I have not changed, and you, the sons of Jacob, you have not perished. Verse 7, it says, since the days of your forefathers you have veered away from my laws, and you have not observed them. Return to me, and I will return to you, says Yahweh, Master of Legions. But you say, for what should we repent? Should a person steal from God as you steal from me, and say, how have we stolen from you? By withholding the tithes and the truma offerings, you are cursed with a curse, yet you continue to steal from me, the entire nation. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, and let it be sustenance in my temple. Test me if you will with this, says Yahweh, Master of Legions. See if I do not open up the windows of the heavens and pour out upon you blessing without end. So it's like our people, they like to go about and pretty much experience or try to pretty much use anything else to try to find sustenance for themselves, or to try to anything else to put their faith into to try to find some type of success for us. When in truth, the only thing Yahweh is our God. You know what I mean? He's a portion. All the other idols, they're not a portion to us. We're the most highest. So it's like we have to give Him praise. And if we're not doing that, if it's anything else that we're doing that with or to, it's not going to succeed. It's never going to succeed. So that's the truth, And I guess I'm gonna say Salah, and I'm gonna let another brother get his point out. The brother Z again. I was supposed to give off to another brother, but I wanted to read another verse. This is going to be Exodus chapter 23, verse 13, and it says, "Be careful regarding everything that I have said to you. The name of the gods of others you shall not mention, nor shall your mouth cause it to be heard." So that just goes into another depth to show you just how much we're not supposed to be like at all dealing with idols or anything. We're not even supposed to speak their names. We're not even supposed to speak them. You know what I mean? The most I say he's a jealous, Elohim. You know what I'm saying? So we're not supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's something else that I wanted to get out. So yeah.
Shalom, shalom. It's Brother Davion again, and I'm gonna start off in Psalms 135. I'm gonna start at verse 15. Remember, the idols of the nations are right. Verse 15. The idols of the nations are silver and gold, human handiwork. Right? They have mouths, but they speak not. They have eyes, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Neither is there any breath in their mouths. Like them shall their makers become. Everyone who trusts in them. Right? Because they don't know. They don't know, as it says in Isaiah 44. They don't know. Or they don't understand what they are doing. They can't distinguish between the clean and the profane. They can't, distinguish between, what is right, walking in Yahweh's course of life, and the wickedness. They can't distinguish, right? So the idols of the nations are silver and gold, human handiwork. So it's the toil of their hands. They take pride in what they make as the carved images, which is idolatry, right? Now, if you go to Ezekiel 7, I'm gonna start at verse 19, right? They will throw their Ezekiel 7, verse 19. They will throw their silver in the streets, and their gold will become repulsive, for their silver and their gold will be unable to rescue them on the day of Yahweh's fury. They will not satisfy their souls, and they will not fill their stomachs, for it was a stumbling block of their iniquity. Right? So them putting their faith, or their trust or their hope into their silver and their gold, it is to no avail. It won't bring you any salvation because, like it says, they see not, they hear not, they speak not, and their makers shall become like them, deaf, dumb, and blind. Right? Also, I'm going to continue. Verse 20. The beauty of his ornament he had set for majesty, yet they made their abominable and detestable images within it. Therefore, I have made it into a repulsive thing for them. Right? Yet they made their abominable and detestable images within it. Therefore, I have made it into a repulsive thing for them. Verse 21. And I will give it into the hand of strangers for plunder, and unto the wicked of their earth for spoils, and they will profane it. I will turn my face away from them, and they will profane the place where I am hidden, and into it will come lawless people and profane it. Right? Which is all, which is also which is also the temple, the mind, you're supposed to, safeguard the charge of the temple, right? You're supposed to safeguard, the teachings of Yahweh, right? The testimony of Yahweh's, holy name, right? You're not supposed to let defilement or detestable or profane things, around the holy, right? They're supposed to be separated, which means distinguish, right? Now I'm gonna continue to I'm gonna skip down to Ezekiel 8, right? I'm gonna start at verse 1. It happened in the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th of the month, I was sitting in my house, and the elders of Judah were sitting before me, and the hand of Adonai Yahweh fell upon me there. I saw, and behold, there was a likeness like the appearance of fire. From the appearance of his loins and downward there was fire. From his loins and upward was like the appearance of radiance, like the color of kashmal. Then he stretched forth the form of a hand and took me by a lock of my head. And a wind, or spirit, rawak, spirit mind of wind, carried me, or to make quick understanding. And wind carried me between the earth and the heavens and brought me to Yahweh Shalom in divine visions. Right? to the entrance of the inner gate that faces northward, where the seat of the provocation or image of provocation stood. And behold, the glory of God of Yasharal was there, like the appearance that I had seen in the valley. Right? I'm gonna continue on in verse 5. He said to me, Son of man, lift your eyes now to the way northward. So I lifted my eyes to the way northward, and behold, north of the altar gate, this image of provocation was in the entryway. Then he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they do? Great abominations are the people of the house of Yasharal committing here, to cause me to distance myself from my sanctuary. And now you will yet again see great abominations. Right? So due to our detestations that we brought, in the sanctuary where Yahweh dwells, in the temple, within the soul, as we brought images of false idols, images, worshiping our, going off our own heart's desires, putting faith in things to no avail, vanity, just seeking falsehood. Yahweh distanced himself from us because Yahweh is holy, and you can't mix the Quadash with the profane, or Quadash, which means sanctified or sanctuary or like set apart, right? Now I'm gonna continue down to verse 7. Then he brought me to the entrance of the courtyard. I saw that, behold, there was a single hole in the wall. Then he said to me, Son of man, tunnel through the wall now. So I tunneled through the wall, and behold, there was an entrance. Then he said to me, Enter and see the evil abominations that they commit here. Verse 10. So I entered, and I saw, and behold, every sort of image, disgusting creepy things, and animals, and all the idols of the house of Yasharal were carved upon the wall all around. Right? And 70 men of the elders of the house of Yasharal, with Jezaniah son of Shaphan standing among them, were standing before them, each man with his censer in his hand, with a thick cloud of incense rising. Then he said to me, Have you seen, O son of man, what the elders of Yasharal, the elders of the house of Yasharal do in the darkness, each man in his paved rooms? For they say, Yahweh does not see us. Salah. And Yahweh has forsaken the land. And he said to me, Now you will see yet again great abominations that they do. Right? So remember the image of provocation, which was within the temple. Right? And it said there were carved images upon the wall all around. Now, verse 11, right? And 70 men of the elders of the house of Yasharal, with Jezaniah son of Shaphan standing among them, or standing before them, each man with his censer in his hand, with a thick cloud of incense rising. So they were burning incense to the gods of others, right? Because of the idols that were within the temple, that they lodged within themselves, right? Which caused, Yahweh to turn away from us and cause us to follow our own heart's desires, which led to our downfall. Right? Now I'm gonna continue. Verse 14. Then he brought me to the entrance of the gate of the temple of Yahweh, that is to the north, and behold, there were women sitting, causing Tammuz to cry. And he said to me, Do you see, son of man? Now you will see yet again even greater abomination than these. Then he brought me to the inner courtyard of the temple of Yahweh, and behold, at the entrance of the sanctuary of Yahweh, between the entrance hall and the altar, were some 25 men, with their backs to the sanctuary of Yahweh, with their faces turned eastward. They were bowing eastward to the sun. He said to me, Do you see, son of man, were there other sins too trivial for the house of Judah, that they had to commit the abomination that they have committed here? For they have filled the land with injustice, and yet they returned to anger me in my own house. For here they are sending their foul odor into their nose. I too will react with wrath. My eye will not spare, and I will not have compassion. Though they cry in my ears with a loud voice, I will not hearken to them. Right? Due to us, following the gods of others, and worshiping the idols of wood and stone, which is human handiwork. Right? So with that being said, Yahweh Akkad, I pass it off to the next brother. Salah.
All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Z here, and I just wanted to pretty much say I thank you all for checking out the video and for coming on and visiting us just listening in and commenting and everything. Yeah, comment under below. We want to hear what you guys got to say. We want to hear what you say. Regardless, we like to hear the support and regardless of what you guys say. What I'm saying, we don't promote or invite anything this debased, but we do encourage the viewers and people out there to definitely speak because we like to hear from you brothers and sisters. So I want to say shalom to all the brothers and sisters on TK. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters who came out to watch. And like I said, just share a video with any brothers and sisters that you feel would hearken. What I'm saying, and that have it in their spirit, in their heart. So excuse me. So we're gonna get out our last verses and pretty much do our little thing and you say what's up. So this is Song of Songs. Song of Songs chapter 3 verse 8 is what I want to get to. Okay, here it is. Yeah, Song of Songs chapter 3 verse 8. And it says, all of them gripping, I'm going to start at verse 6. You nations have asked, who is this ascending from the wilderness, its way secured and smoothed by palm-like pillars of smoke, burning fragrant myrrh and frankincense, of all the perfumers' powders? Behold, the resting place of him whom peace belongs, with 60 myriads of Israel's mighty encircling it, all of them gripping the sword of tradition, skilled in the battle of Torah, each with his sword ready at his side, lest he succumb to the nights of exile. So I wanted to read that verse pretty much to pretty much explain what our heritage, Israel's heritage, is not just the land, but it's the Torah. What I'm saying, the mindset. And by the mindset being our heritage, it means we have to inherit the mindset. So what do you have to do? You have to put your mind in the Torah. What I'm saying? Get back in the land. So you wanna get you a Tharwah, you brothers and sisters, any of you reading. You wanna get you a Tharwah. You wanna pretty much just try to dedicate your heart and your mind, your life, your soul to Yahweh God. What I'm saying? His law is holy. There's no words that I can express that do it justice. So get you a Tharwah, what's the word? Reacquainted with your heritage, your forefathers, and pretty much learn who you are. What I'm saying? Praise Yahweh God for allowing us to be here and to do this. What I'm saying? It's great. So yeah, I want to say shalom to all you brothers and sisters. Get your sword and get good in the battle of Torah, our tradition. What I'm saying? Our heritage. You know what I mean? And stay away from false idols. What I'm saying? Don't hearken unto any of those prophets. Don't hearken unto anything trying to promote you a false destiny. And in truth, your destiny is written already. It's right here. Go see it. You don't need to be you inquire of any diviners, of anything else other than Yahweh God and His Torah and His prophets. What I'm saying? You wanna learn from Moses? Go read. What I'm saying? You wanna learn from Joshua? Go read. What I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So shalom to all you brothers and sisters, all the TK. That's it for me. Shalom.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is going to be my last point. I just want to say before I read this that it's been great being on here. It's been good sharing the word with you all so that you all, stay nourished, stay hydrated in the Torah. You know what I'm saying? Pick you up a Torah like the brother said. Go ahead and read about what the Most High has to say to you. You know what I'm saying? But with this, I'm going to go ahead and end it with Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 14. And it says, "Return, O wayward sons, the word of Yahweh, for I shall be your master. I shall take you, even one from a city and two from a family. And I shall bring you to Zion. I shall appoint shepherds for you according to my own heart, and they will care for you with knowledge and wisdom. And it shall be that when you multiply and become fruitful in the land, in those days, the word of Yahweh, they will no longer say, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and it will not come to mind. They will not mention it and will not recall it. It will not be used anymore. In that time, people will call Jerusalem the throne of Yahweh, and all the nations will be gathered to her in the name of Yahweh. To Jerusalem, they will no longer follow the visions of their evil heart. You know? And I'm going to go down to chapter 4, verse 1. And I'm going to end it at... verse 4. And it says, if you repent, O Israel, the word of Yahweh, you will return to me. If you remove your abominations from before me, then you will not have to wander. If you swear, as Yahweh lives, in truth, in justice, and in righteousness, the nations will bless themselves through Israel, and will praise themselves through it. For thus said Yahweh to the people of Judah and to Jerusalem, plow for yourselves a furrow, and do not sow upon thorn bushes. Circumcise yourselves unto Yahweh. Remove the barriers of your hearts. O people of Judah, inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my wrath go forth like fire, and burn none to extinguish it. Because of, Salakia. Lest my wrath go forth like fire, and burn with none to extinguish it, because of the wickedness of your deeds. So like I said before, get you a Torah, contemplate on it, learn the ways, study the commandments, and let the Most High lead you. With that I yield. Shabbat Shalom. You all have a beautiful rest of the day. And all praises to the Most High.
So,
All right, shalom, guys. Shalom. It's Brother X. So coming out with my last scriptures, tying up this video into a nice little bow. So with that being said, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone. I hope you guys had a nice restful day, and may Yahweh watch over us as we prepare for the next day. So this is going to come out of Deuteronomy, and right now I'm going to be reading out of Deuteronomy 32. Verse 28. For they are a nation bereft of counsel, and there is no discernment in them. Were they wise, they would comprehend this. They would discern it from their end. For how could one pursue 1,000, and 2 cause myriad to flee, if not that their rock has sold them out, and Yahweh had delivered them? For not like our rock is their rock, yet our enemies judge us. For their vineyard is from the vineyard of Sodom, and from the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. So clusters of bitterness were given them. Serpent's venom is their wine, the poison of cruel vipers. It is not revealed with me, seal in my treasuries. Mine is vengeance and retribution. At the time of their foot will falter. For the day of their catastrophe is near, and future events are rushing at them. When Yahweh will have judged his people, he shall relent regarding his servants. When he sees that enemy power progresses and none is saved or assisted, he will say, where is their God, the rock in whom they sought refuge, the fat of whose offerings they would eat? They would drink the wine of their libations. Let them stand and help you. Let them be a shelter for you. See now that I am he, and no God is with me. I put to death, and I bring to life. I struck down, and I will heal, and there is no rescue from my hand. For I shall raise my hand to heaven and say, as I live forever, if I sharpen my flashing sword, and my hand grasps judgment, I shall return vengeance upon my enemies, and upon those that hate me shall I bring retribution. I shall intoxicate my arrows with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, because of the blood of corpse and captive, because of the earliest depredations of the enemy. See, that's him recounting all of their transgressions. So it's from the earliest depredations. So that's from when they first started to do deprived things, you know what I'm saying? And since those until the later generations of these people are going to be judged in their entirety. They haven't been judged yet, but it's going to be judged all together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue to read. The depredations of the enemy. O nations, sing the praises of his people. For he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will bring retribution upon his foes, and he will appease his land and his people. Moshe came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people. He and Hoshea, son of Nun, Moses, concluded speaking all these words to Yasharal. And he said to them, apply your hearts to all the words that I testify against you today, with which you are to instruct your children, to be careful to perform all the words of this Torah, for it is not an empty thing for you. See, a lot of people just think we're just doing some stuff that we have no idea about. No, man. You just said it. It's not an empty thing for us. It's not just like a book that you just read and you don't gain any wisdom or knowledge or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's debased or like a comic book. It ain't like that. It just said, for it is not an empty thing for you. Just like how they worship empty things, this is not an empty thing. This is life. That's what he's telling us. That's what he's telling us. I'm going to continue. It says, for you it is your life. For it is your life, Slak. This is not an empty thing for you, for it is your life. And through this matter you shall prolong your days on the land to which you crossed the Jordan to possess it. So, right then and there, it's telling us to keep the Tawawah. This is life for us. This is how we live. Contrary to the nations who worship the gods of wood and stone that does not have life in it. You know what I'm saying? They worship something that doesn't have life. This is life. You know what I'm saying? This is how we live. This is our way of life. So let me continue. It says, Yahweh spoke to Moses on that very day, saying, ascend to this mount of Abiram, or Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, which is before Jericho, and see the land of Canaan that I give to the children of Yasharah as their inheritance, and die on the mountain where you will ascend and be gathered to your peoples, as Aaron your brother died on Mount Hawar, and was gathered to his peoples, because you trespassed against me among the children of Yasharah at the waters of strife at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin, because you did not sanctify me among the children of Yasharah. For from a distance shall you see the land, but you shall not enter there, into the land that I give to the children of Yasharah. You know what I'm saying? So Moses wasn't allowed to enter the land because what? Because of us, because we intimidated. You know what I'm saying? We weren't doing what we were supposed to do. We always trying to, install some fear into somebody, but it don't work like that. And because he had that hesitation, caused him not to be able to see, like physically, the land or step into the land. He saw the land, you know what I'm saying? He saw the layout of the land, but he wasn't able to, step into the land. So, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to bring that out. But that's actually not even my last verse. My last verse is actually Deuteronomy 7, and it's chapter 7, and it's going to be verse 6, and it's relatively small, so give me 1 second. It says, for you are a holy people to Yahweh your God. Yahweh your God has chosen you to be for him a treasured people above all the peoples that are on the face of the earth. Not because you are more numerous than all the peoples did Yahweh desire you and choose you, for you are the fewest of all the peoples. Rather, because of Yahweh's love for you, and because he observes the oath that he swore to your forefathers, did he take you out with strong hand. So right there, that is the reason why Yahweh brought us out the land. Not because we were more numerous than anyone, but because we were fewest, you know what I'm saying? And he had, Yahweh had an oath that he swore to our forefathers. And Yahweh, he keeps his oath. So he brought us out of the land with strong arm. He also loved Yasharah. So, you know what I'm saying? This is how we get back to Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? We got to get away from the idols. We got to put that aside. And it's time to actually grow up. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is lower. You know what I'm saying? It's a low decree. It's a carnal and earthly thing. You know what I'm saying? They worship gods of wood and stone. That's from the earth. You know what I'm saying? Of the earth, just like us. you wouldn't be worshiping yourself, even though we have people that worship themselves. You know what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be conducting in those type of things. But with that being said, get out of idol worship. You know what I'm saying? Open this Tarawa. This is to Yasharah. This is to my brothers and my sisters. You know, this is for anybody who wants to serve Yahweh with integrity, with sincerity, and with humility. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, it could be from my brothers and sisters. It could be from a cleaver or a stranger. You know what I'm saying? If they have the heart to serve Yahweh and to forsake the ways of their forefathers, just like us, because our forefathers did debauchery as well, then, you know what I'm saying, who am I to judge? I can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's in your heart. Yahweh judges your heart, and he judges your innermost thoughts. So you have nothing but to be sincere and to be honest with yourself and with the Most High. So with that being said, I want to say Shalom and Yahweh Khan.
Shalom, shalom again. And I just wanted to get out my closing statement. And I just want to go over Psalms 63. But first off, I wanted to say Shabbat Shalom, Halal Waya, Barakatah Yahweh. Praise Yahweh for allowing us to get together on another Shabbat and allow us to bring out truth to Yashara'el and help edify, those of Yashara'el, those who will, turn away from, the ways of our forefathers who abhorred, our heritage, abhorred the Tarawa, and, didn't seek Yahweh. We have to turn away from their ways, and we have to come back to Yahweh, and the Tarawa, and to walk his course of life, because he establishes our footsteps. And I'd like to thank Yahweh also for allowing us to to bring out some good points, and just to continue to strengthen us in this walk, and allow us to stay and keep this Tarawa wholeheartedly and sincerely. And shout out to all the brothers in TK, and shout out to all the Yasharal out there, who keep the Tarawa sincere and in their mind always, as well as the apple of the eye, and who gives praises to Yahweh each and every day, right? So I'm gonna start off in Psalm 63, verse 1, a psalm by Dawid. When he was in the wilderness of Yahweh, O God, you are my God. I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a parched and thirsty land with no water. Thus, to have beheld you in the sanctuary, to see your might and your glory. For your kindness is better than life. My lips shall praise you. Thus shall I bless you all my life. In your name I shall lift my hands. Right? It is as if my desire is sated with fat and abundance, when my mouth gives praise with joyous language. When I remember you upon my Salah. Verse 7. When I remember you upon my couch, and night watches I meditate upon you. For you have been a help for me. In the shelter of your wings I joyously sing. Right? In night watches, right? Shamareh, to guard, to guard the temple. Says I meditate upon you. Right? And I'm also gonna get that Psalms 1 too. I'm gonna get that as well. Verse 8. For you have been a help for me. In the shelter of your wings I joyously sing. My soul cleaves after you. Your right arm has supported me. But they seek my soul for destruction. May they come to the depths of the earth. The enemy shall drag each one by the sword. The portion of foxes shall they be. The king shall rejoice in God. Glory will be everyone who swears by him. When the mouth of the liar will be stopped. All those, who stray after falsehood, those who, try to straight, cause confusion and strife between brothers, and, turn Yasharal away from Yahweh, and those who just, use Yashara'el to make money, and the Tarawa, and, to make money off of the truth. Just spreading falsehood. I'm gonna go to Psalms 1, right? And this is gonna be my last verse. Give me 1 second. Chapter Psalms 1. Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. Praiseworthy is the man who walked not in the counsel of the wicked, and stood not in the path of the simple, stood not in the path of the sinful, and sat not in the session of scorners. Verse 2. But his desire is in the Tarawa of Yahweh, and in his Tarawa he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree deeply rooted alongside brooks of water, that yields its fruit in its season, and whose leaf never withers, and everything that he does will succeed, right? So you want to be fruitful and multiply, right? You know, as the seed or the teachings of the Tharawah is planted within your mind, you use, you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. As the seed is planted, you use wisdom to contemplate and meditate, upon the Tharawah, right? To untie knots and riddles, and to learn, about, our heritage, as well as, to keep the Tharawah, to apply the teachings to your life, to walk uprightly on the straight path, to not veer to the left or to the right, right? And you want to be fruitful and multiply at the mind, right? You don't want to be desert with no water, which is the Tharawah and the teachings, right? You want the water, you want the fresh water, and Yahweh is the source of living waters, right? Also, verse 4, not so the wicked, rather they are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked shall not be vindicated in judgment, nor the sinful in the assembly of the righteous. For Yahweh attends the way of the righteous, while the way of the wicked will perish. And with that being said, Shabbat Shalom again to all the Yasharal out there, all the brothers in TK, all those, who try to walk in Yahweh's truth to the utmost, to keep the laws, the statutes, commandments, the ordinances, the decrees, and just always, try to do what is good in Yahweh's eyes. And with that being said, Shalom, Yahweh Akah.